Hi there, back again with more shadow work. My name is Malo for those whom I'm meeting for the first time. I am a soul alignment coach, meaning that I help you align with your soul. I'm also a professional speaker and I am a Sangom. Now, as we're continuing with our shadow work through our chakras, going through each of our energy centers in our body and doing some shadow work around that. The next energy center that we're going to be discussing is the Sacral Chakra. This is probably my favorite energy center personally. Nothing wrong with the other centers. I just love everything connected with the sacral chakra. Maybe it's because of my Taurus moon and Taurus ascendant, who knows? But I just love the sacral chakra. So the sacral chakra has to do with your emotions. It sits in your gut, so just below your belly button, a centimeter or two. That is where the energy center of your sacral chakra is. And that is where the functioning of your emotions, your sexual energy, your life force energy, your magneticism, your creative energy, your creativity. This is your relationship center. This is your sexual center. If you're a woman, your womb is in the center. And everything juicy and delicious from life really comes from your sacral chakra. Hence, it's my favorite chakra. And this chakra can also cast a big shadow, just like all of them, because when we're talking about one's emotions, we're not just talking about your basic feelings, but we're literally talking about your emotional functioning in this world. Emotions are energy in motion. That's what it's short for. That is what it is short for. So energy is obviously non-physical, but we experience it through our sensory body as emotions. So how do you know that you're upset? You're going to know this because of how you feel. The emotions also charge your actions. So it's no coincidence that the chakra that manifests into the physical realm, which is the root chakra, which we've just discussed, is fueled by the sacral chakra, the emotional body. So there's the aspect of the root chakra that nourishes from the goddess and brings energy from the earth into you. And there's the energy of the sacral chakra, your own emotional center, which then generates energy for you in this life. This is your life force center as well. Your life force literally generates here. Your life force is energy that you need for everything in your life. Every relationship you're going to have, every job that you're going to do, every meal that you're going to cook, every hairstyle that you're going to create, everything feeds off of that life force center that comes from this energy center, your sacral energy. Now, some people have a very strong sacral energy, and some people's sacral energy needs more cultivation. It's not that it's weak, it's just that you need to be more conscious of cultivating this energy, so you don't need to ever sit there and say, oh, I've got a weak sacral chakra, and make that your excuse. No, it just means that life is inviting you to be more intentional about cultivating your own life force energy. For men, for example, this could mean semen retention, so not regularly ejaculating, but rather retaining that life force energy that is within you and then redirecting it into other aspects of yourself. And as a woman, this can mean doing some active womb work, working around your womb energy center and really connecting to the non-physical to cultivate energy from that womb center to then reinvigorate your whole life and your whole functioning as a woman. You can obviously hear that I love this energy center. I could go on about this all day. But its shadow that I'm going to talk about is the emotional aspect of the center, where we can go through certain emotional distortions in our life when we don't get the chance to fully feel, embody, and process our emotions. The distortion can literally look like your emotions becoming your whole personality and identity. Or your emotions can mean that you project your emotions onto other people and you don't actually feel your own emotions. Your emotions are happening within your body and only you can feel your emotions. So projecting them because you want other people to feel how you are feeling is a distortion of this energy center, because it means that you're not allowing energy to process properly into your life and reality, and then getting the wisdom that is in your emotions. One of the things that is a shadow aspect of the center through the emotional aspect of it is that in your emotions, there's wisdom. Your feelings need to be felt, yes, but when you fully process your feelings or your emotions by feeling them, there's often nuggets of wisdom for yourself, not for other people. So please don't write us a book. This is for you. So if you're going to write that book, write it for you to read, because when you feel, for example, the emotion of disgust and you process it properly in your body, you will get the wisdom to stay away from that person, because disgust is a repulsive emotion that is warning you to stay away from something that will otherwise harm you. But if your disgust is coming from a place of distortion because there are other emotions within yourself that you don't want to feel, and you are projecting those emotions onto that person, which then can create that disgust that you have about that person, because what you're really disgusted by are your own unprocessed and unfelt emotions and not that specific person. Any one of these possibilities, by example, can only be found as you do your shadow work around your sacral chakra and really get to the flow of your emotions. A deeper one with this is unprocessed grief. When you have experienced certain things, and bereavement is just one way that grief comes into one's life, but many things can cause us to come into a state of grief. And when you don't fully process your grief, this center is where that grief sits. And when it's sitting in the center unprocessed, it then casts, you guessed it, a shadow over the center. And then your grief is like almost blocking any form of life that is trying to come from you. I don't necessarily mean blocking a child from being birthed if you're a woman. I mean life that comes from this energy center into your physical, material, or perhaps even emotional life or inner world. So when grief is trapped here, you are unable to properly connect with people because you feel sad, because you haven't processed your sadness. When grief is trapped here, you can self-isolate because you don't want to process your grief, or you feel like a wet mop when you go into, spaces where other people exist. When grief is trapped here, you can almost hold your own self back from living your life because you don't feel worthy of that life. You can feel so depressed and so angry at the same time because you're not allowing the full process of grief to really be felt and processed. So you were made with the mechanisms that you need to feel and process your emotions. And at the end of that processing will come wisdom. This wisdom isn't intellectual. It's wisdom that will help you in your day-to-day functioning of life. So once you felt the pain of touching fire, for example, that pain is what will give you the wisdom to never touch fire again. Had you not felt that pain and really felt it and experienced it, you will still touch fire and get burned and then no longer have a hand to speak of. So this can be an admonishing wisdom, or you taste strawberries and you find, oh my gosh, they're so delicious. And how do you experience this? Yes, there's the sense of taste, which is a physical sense, but there's also the feeling of pleasure, which is in the emotional body, the sacral chakra. You feel this in this aspect of yourself, and now you know that you love strawberries, you enjoy strawberries. That sense of joy, that sense of love, that sense of pleasure is all experienced and governed by this energy center. So when you do shadow work around the center, we're really going to be talking about how to better connect with your emotions, how to feel your emotions, and how to process your emotions. So when we're talking about how to connect with your emotions, sometimes as you live in your life, it's not always possible to even connect with how you're really feeling, because you are in social circumstances where it's not appropriate or it's not acceptable for you to display or embody a certain expression of emotion. And when you're in this state, long term, you can then just disconnect from your emotions. For men, at least in the culture that I'm from, there's a strong messaging to just disconnect from your emotions, because it's a sign of manhood and it's a sign of a weak man to be connected with your emotions. Now, this is false in the sense that it is human to have emotions. To emote is a human function. Therefore, whether you are male or female, you need to connect with your emotions. Whole parts of your human functioning need you to connect with your own emotions. But when this functioning is immature, you can connect and then project. You can connect and then discard. You can connect and then condemn yourself for feeling your emotions. So this sense of connections requires you to, first of all, accept that you are a human being, and this means that you feel emotions. Don't be humiliated by your own emotions. Don't be ashamed of your emotions. Connect with them authentically. Connect with your own emotions. Then the next part is to feel them. Feel the emotions within yourself. That process happens in your body. And some emotions are uncomfortable. Some emotions are painful. Some emotions are not acceptable in certain contexts. For example, in certain contexts, it's not acceptable for you to feel your anger because it makes other people feel uncomfortable. Some people don't like it when you feel your depression, or you feel your grief, or you feel your sadness. Some people don't like it when you feel positive emotions, where you feel your happiness, you feel your joy, you feel your ecstasy, you feel pleasure, you feel bliss. Some people are blocked in that aspect of themselves because they don't know how to function, or they don't know how to properly embody those other aspects of themselves. So what can happen with some people is that they split. They call some emotions positive and some emotions negative. There's no such thing as a positive emotion, and there's no such thing as a negative emotion. Your emotions are your emotions. Bliss is not positive, sadness is not negative. Sadness is telling you something that you need to process and feel. Bliss is telling you something that you need to process and feel. And when you split your emotions like this, you can develop what I call like a positive addiction to positive emotions, where you want to be happy all the time and you want to be blissful all the time, and you even call this angelic or godly or holy or divine. And then the other aspects of your emotions, you call them negative or evil or demonic or devil-like. because you don't ever want to feel sad or angry or enraged or pissed off, um, or disgusted by anything, irritated, angst, anxiety. All of these things are just emotions that are a part of the human mechanism. You are made to feel all of your emotions. So when you define yourself through only feeling certain emotions or never feeling certain emotions, I've literally heard people say, I'm never angry. This is an alarm bell. That's like someone telling you they never pee or they never poo. These are not good things. Don't brag about these things, okay? You should feel angry when there's something aggravating you, and you should connect with that anger, process that anger, and listen to what that anger is telling you. It does not mean that you then need to project your anger by harming another person or by throwing out the baby with the bathwater in your situations. When you don't fully process your emotions, you then can make distorted decisions based off your emotions, ironically. I want you to think of your emotions as like a powerful river or a powerful ocean. You can never control your emotions, but you need to learn how to flow with them. When you start to talk about things like controlling emotions, you're just kidding yourself. You flow with your emotions and you learn to develop a mature relationship with your own emotions. Usually, when people are talking about controlling emotions, they mean repressing emotions. And ironically, when you repress your emotions, you're going to be making choices unconsciously in your shadow based off of your repressed emotions. It doesn't work. So stop kidding yourself. Instead, connect with your emotions and feel your emotions. And then listen to what your emotions are telling you. The last part is then embodying and authentically expressing your emotions. Now, we can have uninhibited expressions of emotions that can lead to disastrous consequences in our relationships and in our lives. So we are angry with someone and then you just throw a tantrum, or you harm them physically, or you harm them verbally, and then you can't take that back. That happens to everybody. Hence, the process of emotional maturity is learning how to properly connect with your emotions, feel them, learn from them, and then learn how to embody and express. Now, we're going to do an exercise, and once again, this doesn't need any money, and it also doesn't need you to be in some fancy sitting position. But what you're going to do is you're going to connect with your emotional body, your sacral chakra, and allow yourself to let other people see you being authentically emotional. I don't mean let other people see you crying, although if that's relevant, of course. And I also don't mean other people seeing you punch a wall. I mean allow people in your life to see you emote. Don't need to hide your feelings and your emotions in your life. I also don't mean confide in people, overshare with people. Please spare us. We don't care that much. I mean, allow your emotions to be a part of your physical expression of yourself. And this can look like, if you are feeling sad, maybe wear black that day. This is an embodiment of the emotion that you're feeling. If you are feeling sexy and sensual, maybe wear some sexy underwear and lingerie underneath your clothing that day. Please don't be publicly inappropriate. Like, don't be one of those people who wears the wrong thing in the wrong place and then quote me in doing that. I mean, yes, feel sexy, but wear that underwear underneath your normal clothing, and then embody that sexiness that you're feeling that day. Perhaps you ovulating that day. Allow yourself to really embody that. If you are feeling sad, maybe don't wear makeup that day, because you're just allowing yourself to prepare your body to be willing to cry and not make a mess in your life. If you are feeling happy, wear colors and outfits that make you feel happy or that express that happiness. Maybe wear your hair and your makeup in a way that expresses your feeling that day if you're a woman. If you're a man, I don't know, actually, maybe you can tell me what you can do from an outfit perspective. I mean, I'm not a guy, so I really don't know what men could do. But when it comes to color theory, you neither need to be a man or a woman to express that aspect of yourself. So instead of dressing to impress, which is fine, do that. Dress to express. Dress to express your emotions, emotions that you have connected with, felt, listened to, and now embody through your physical expression. And allow people to see you as a feeling person. Please stop needing people to think that you are too strong to feel, or that you are brave and therefore you don't feel anything. It's just not, it's not a human thing. I don't know where we got this from, this idea that ignoring emotions, controlling emotions, not feeling emotions is a sign of strength. Over time, this actually weakens you, because as a human, you are made to not only feel emotions, but to connect with others through that emotional expression. So now, say you are wearing a certain look makeup wise because you are just feeling so happy that day, and then someone pays you a compliment. That creates a point of connection with another person based off your emotion. So that connection then becomes authentic. Or let's say you are a man and you are feeling powerful that day, and you are wearing whatever color you choose to embody that power. Let's just say it's blue or red, and someone compliments your red tie. You will feel seen by that person, because that red tie is an expression of your feeling powerful, and it creates an authentic connection with someone based on you embodying your emotion. So this exercise is less about doing something in private, although it does need you to connect with your emotions, feel your emotions, but it's about embodying and expressing your emotions in your life. Don't defend how you feel, but embody and express how you feel. So, just to do a recap, your sacral chakra is the functioning of your energetic system, which is all about your sexual energy, your life force energy, your emotional energy. And specifically, the shadow work around the center we're doing is around the emotional aspect of this, and learning to connect with our emotions, learning to feel our emotions, learning to listen to the wisdom of our emotions, and then learning to express our emotions in our day-to-day lives. I'm really looking forward to discussing other more practical ways to connect with your sacral chakra during our next session. I hope you're good, and I hope that everything is going well with you. See you next time.